This is Company Saturdays. Every Saturday, we present you with another company. Today, we're looking at 15 things you didn't know about Tata Motors. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. Today we're taking a look at the unlikely success and rise to prominence of Tata Motors and the lessons we can learn from them. What was once a fledgling, elusive carmaker in India is now quickly rising to compete within the ranks of the world's top automobile manufacturers. In its infancy, Tata Motors rose to fill a market gap for domestically built commercial vehicles. While global automotive manufacturing was mainstream by the mid-20th century, India was still struggling to produce its own vehicles domestically. A few automakers, with Hindustan Motors leading the way, became established and helping to turn the industry around. In the mid-1950s, Tata Motors created their first commercial vehicle, and they have steadily grown and expanded to become a major contributor in the Indian automobile market. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. So, let's learn some more. Number 1. Tata Motors began as a locomotive company. Before moving into commercial vehicles, Tata Motors manufactured trains under the name of Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company. This venture established the company's engineering expertise, offering them a unique advantage with the looming dawn of commercial automobiles. This part of the company was founded in 1945, and locomotives were the focus of Tata until 1954, when they entered into a collaboration with Daimler-Benz AG to build their first commercial vehicle. Number 2. It took Tata Motors nearly 4 decades to begin producing passenger vehicles. Back in the 1950s, Tata Motors decided to expand its market, which eventually led to a complete shift in its business. A close business deal with the German automaker Daimler-Benz in 1952 provided Tata Motors with resources that were unavailable to most of its competitors. As such, they were able to quickly become the top manufacturer of commercial vehicles in India for decades to come. However, it wasn't until 1988 that Tata Motors introduced the Tata Mobile, which was the company's first passenger vehicle. The pickup truck remains in production to this day. Number 3. Tata Motors sells its vehicles in 175 countries. The name that remains largely ignored in the discussions of major global car brands actually has its vehicles driving around the streets of 175 countries on nearly all continents. So, why the low name recognition? Tata Motors has acquired several subsidiaries, some with far better brand recognition than their parent company. We'll get into that a bit later, but often people are driving a Tata car without even realizing it. Number 4. They have a 3-month timeline for turning ideas into reality. Traditionally, corporations of all sizes have allocated a full year for ideation, from the time a new idea is proposed to the time it becomes a reality. Tata Motors followed this convention in the past, much to its detriment. As many businesses have learned through painful experience, the 1-year timeframe is no longer realistic in the innovation-driven age of exponential organizations. Now, under the direction of Günter Bunchek, Tata Motors has reduced its turnaround period for new ideas to just 3 months. Although the new timeframe has certainly presented its own challenges, it has proven rewarding for Tata Motors, which is now expanding globally. In its infancy of global expansion, Tata Motors has also discovered the challenge of marketing in the midst of different cultures. Number 5. They created a $3 million gold version of the world's cheapest car. In 2008, Tata came out with the Nano, which quickly established itself as the world's cheapest car at less than $3,000 brand new. One reason the car can be sold so cheaply is it comes without air conditioning, power brakes, or even a stereo. In 2011, Tata collaborated with Titan Industries to celebrate the 5,000-year history of jewelry making in India by creating a gold version of their cheapest automobile. Tata invited their fans to vote on a design for the car, and the final version featured 80 kilograms of 22-karat gold, along with 15 kilograms of silver and precious stones. 30 people worked on creating the one-of-a-kind Nano, and it was valued at around $3 million. Number 6. Tata Motors is India's top defense contractor. As any successful entrepreneur can attest, one of the most effective approaches to a successful business is diversification. While Tata Motors had already solidified its hold on the passenger and commercial vehicle sectors, there was one left to tackle: the military. As such, Tata Motors has recently expanded its product line to not only include vehicles for the mass transit and industrial applications, but also national defense. They've become India's top defense contractor for vehicles, a nice addition to its already realized success with consumer and commercial customers. Number 7. Tata Motors acquired Jaguar Land Rover for $2.3 billion. While watching this video, in the back of your mind, you might be wondering about the quality of Tata Motor vehicles. After all, India's economy still struggles in many ways, so could their vehicles really offer top quality? Well, perhaps this will help build some confidence. One of Tata's subsidiaries purchased Jaguar Land Rover back in 2008 for $2.3 billion. That's right, it's been 10 years since Ford Motor Company owned one of the world's top manufacturers of premium sports cars and SUVs. Even better for Tata Motors, the deal was finalized when the U.S. automotive industry was struggling to remain afloat, hence the rapid growth in Tata's share price since the economy rebounded. Number 8. Tata Motors has been threatened by leadership woes for nearly 3 years. Gunter Butschek is Tata's 4th CEO in only 9 months. In 2014, one of the company's top senior executives resigned after feeling hopeless about its future. The switching of senior leaders has continued since 2009, when director Ravi Kant retired from the company. Many of the challenges faced by Tata Motors began with the slow recovery of Jaguar Land Rover. As the automotive industry recovered from its pitfall in 2007 to 2008, luxury automobiles were among the last to recuperate their losses. The economic spike seen in recent years looks promising for the prestigious brand, but Tata Motors still has many executive roles to solidify. In 2016, Butschek openly admitted that a lack of accountability among leadership, along with the undefined plan to regain prominence, has continued to hinder Tata Motors. With a clear focus on the problems, Tata has now begun turning its business woes around. Number 9. They use paranoia to keep employees focused. Strangely enough, it was the very mindset of paranoia born out of Tata Motors' recent, less successful days that keeps the company running strong now. Since Tata is finally beginning to see success once again, its employees and leaders remain paranoid the company may slip up once more. And by incorporating that paranoia into its culture, the company is keeping employees on their toes. It also took a more 21st century approach to marketing through its GEAR initiative. GEAR is an acronym for the core tenets that have been set for employees: generate ideas, evaluate, action, and realize the idea. Needless to say, when any mention of the word GEAR finds its way into the daily life at Tata Motors, every employee within earshot is reminded of their collective goals. This, combined with the unusual approach of maintaining a state of paranoia, offers a more effective approach to keeping employees laser-focused on the tasks and goals at hand. It also offers a more holistic approach to innovation that runs the gamut of the corporation's teams and departments. Most PR teams would dread such an approach, yet it seems to be benefiting Tata Motors quite well. Number 10. Ratan Tata has a net worth of $1 billion. Ratan Tata is the former chairman of Tata Motors, and he's responsible for much of their recent success. During his term as chairman, he increased the profits of Tata more than 50 times, and he also personally came up with the idea of the popular Nano. He led the company for more than 20 years until 2016, and he's still the head of Tata Group's charitable trusts. He currently has a net worth of $1 billion. We talk so much more about this successful businessman in our video, The 15 Things You Didn't Know About Ratan Tata. Click in the top right corner to check it out. Number 11. Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company still exists and builds cars. Despite the more recent history of Tata Motors, the original locomotive company still remains as a subsidiary. Its original factory, built in 1945, is also still in use. Although it was originally used to build steam trains, it eventually began producing diesel engines as well. However, both the company and the plant ceased manufacturing locomotives in 1974. Now, both factories exclusively focus on motor vehicles. In fact, Tata's first passenger vehicle, the Tatamobile, as previously mentioned, was actually built by the Tata Engineering and Locomotive Company, which now is branded as Telco. Number 12. Tata is planning to completely rebuild its passenger vehicle portfolio by 2024. Tata Motors is overhauling its entire vehicle lineup and expects a completely rebuilt portfolio over the next 6 years. They plan to take a customer-centric approach that will use feedback to design new body options for its upcoming vehicles. They will also put a new focus on the fuel efficiency of their vehicle lineup. Additionally, they're planning to launch new lines for both their subcompact and SUV lineups. Number 13. Tata Motors is preparing to claim 50% of the Indian passenger vehicle market. Tata's end goal for its new portfolio is to dominate a whopping 50% of the total passenger vehicle market in India. It's an ambitious goal, considering no single company holds such a massive share. Also, the top share currently belongs to foreign automakers. However, it wouldn't be the first time the automaker has surprised us, and considering the fact that Tata Motors recently overtook Honda in India's car market, the ambitious goal may not be so far-fetched. Number 14. Tata's Education Excellence Program is working to improve schools in India. It's difficult to think of a time when schools in India weren't struggling to provide a quality education, but Tata is using its TEEP program to change that. It's designed to help schools in less urban areas develop modern infrastructure and build higher criteria for excellence. Along the way, they're also building a positive brand image among a generation of future car buyers. Number 15. They are the only Indian manufacturer to completely build cars domestically. While there are a number of automobile manufacturers in India, Tata Motors is the only company to completely source, refine, and manufacture their entire operation in India. No imported materials are used, and no operations are outsourced. Everything is done in India. This helps Tata to stand out from its competitors and could help cement the company's success as it moves into the future. And there you have it, Alexers. When faced with a challenge, Tata Motors has always used ideation and innovation to pull ahead of its competitors to be more successful than ever before. They aren't afraid to take risks with radical new ideas and uncertain outcomes. Even better, many of their strategies can be implemented with relative ease in virtually any business. It's simply a matter of adapting, ideation, and risk-taking. So,